Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the podcast. This is episode 30 of the Nexus podcast. I'm your co host and today, and as always, I'm here with my co host, Burrito Voorhees, aka King Jr., aka Franco. What's going on tonight, my friend?
Hey, thanks for having another podcast. This is taking place shortly after episode 29. My reason I had this happen was because recently it was my birthday last Thursday, July 9th. So just thought I would ask Dave for a little extra bit of his time and have an episode with one of my favorite players that is also local to us in Ohio. And I'll let you introduce the guests to the Nexus podcast.
Correct. So he's a local player. He's an Ohioan, and he's one of the best Gears player for Mortal Kombat 1. He's also very, you know, probably it was safe to say he used to stream a lot more than he does now, as far as I know. So especially on, at least for the content on YouTube from what
No
I've seen.
doubt.
No doubt. So here he is. Domoralize is with us. What's
What's
going
going
on with you?
down?
What's going
Oh
on, man?
man,
How are you?
we're just we're all right. We're living. We're doing this podcast, baby.
Well, we're happy to have you. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
So right off the bat, you posted a thumbnail, and I think you made. I think you said what is it? What is that? AI made it. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, ChatGPT cooked me a crazy thumbnail. I listen. I met this back in MK9 Prime, right? I met this guy. He was playing Kung Lao, and he was like, I'm like, damn, this guy's wicked. Like, you do the typical stuff you do with like online interactions. You like add somebody, you invite them to the party, get to talking. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, what state you from? He's like, I'm from Ohio. I'm like, me too. I'm like, what city you from? And I'm from New Philadelphia. And he's like, dude, I'm from New Philadelphia. I'm like, pause. That's insane already. I'm like, how old are you? He's a year younger than me. I'm like, what school do you go to? Bro went to my school. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? And he knew, I knew exactly who he was, but I never spoke to him a day in my life. And yeah, I mean, we've been friends for like ages now, and he just came over 4th of July weekend. We played sets in MK9, MKX, MK11, MK1. It's good times, and that's what that thumbnail is.
Nice, nice. So I see you started with MK9, right? Was
Yeah,
that your first competitive Mortal Kombat game?
I think I was just incredibly above average at that game. But yeah, that was like the first fighting game that I was like, damn. I don't even know how I came across it, but I was watching like Perfect Legends, Kung Lao flying around. I'm like, dude, this shit is crazy. And then I got an MK9. I'm like, dude, what character am I gonna pick? And I landed on Smoke. That was my first character I ever dumped any amount of time into of any capacity.
So are you essentially saying you kind of learned the competitive aspect of fighting games with Mortal Kombat 9 and Smoke?
Yeah, no doubt. Spamming down 3 and back 2 all day.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know all about it.
Oh yeah.
So we can get more into MK9 a bit later. Then I see you obviously you played MKX, and
Yep.
who was your character in that? Who was
I,
your
I
favorite
was
character?
a nasty HQ10 main.
Okay.
Just down 4 low lasering my way to victory.
Did you play did you play throughout all of? Because Mortal Kombat is a very controversial game.
Right.
At least retrospectively speaking. Did you play the game all the way throughout its lifespan?
Like MKX, that was in the middle
Yeah.
of me like playing Gears of War because I played Gears of War forever. I'd play like GBs and stuff with the homies, and that's like when I started streaming. I was like a Gears of War streamer. But yeah, like MKX, I was like also incredibly above average, you know, because I was just mainly playing Gears and like I'd play MK waiting for like my 5 stack to get on. But MK11 was the first one. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get nice at this game.
So how did you? Well, actually, again, I promised I would take each game, but so then obviously
Sure.
MK11, I assume you use Geras, and then MK1
Yeah,
you also use Geras.
yeah. And MK11, I saw a trailer for Gears. I'm like, yep, that's the one. And then I saw Cetra, and I'm like, yep, that's the one. And then my boy Cabal, because I eventually moved off of Smoke and went to Cabal and MK9. So all three of my characters I wanted to play day one in MK11 were just obnoxious as shit. It was so good. No low tiers.
No, look, there's. I feel you. As a wise man once said, pick a top tier, right? So
Yeah.
that's the way it goes.
If all else fails, just pick the best character in the game.
Yeah, I like that mentality. I think it usually works out. Um, I think I'm trying to see the way we want to have the conversation. I think we're gonna ask about each game maybe a little bit later. I kind of want to.
Sure.
I like talking to Mortal Kombat 1 players because honestly, most people in our area have kind of quit the game. They actually
Hmm.
quit the game a while ago. It's kind of usually like just Franco and I just kind of talking and playing. We actually haven't even played in a while, but I
Hmm.
kind of want to pick your mind. Like, how do you like the game? Because it's also a controversial one, of course, with the cameo system. And I guess where does it rank in your, in the four Mortal Kombat games that you used to play?
I will probably burn at the stake for this, and that is okay. From best to worst, I'm going MK1, MK9, MK11, MKX.
So MK1, MK9, MK11, then you have MKX the last. Just to reiterate.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Um, can you talk about? Let's just start with the worst, I guess. Why do you think MKX is in your list ranks the worst?
I think it's just like the most. It's like wacky waving inflatable arm tube man the game. Everybody just fucking running at each other and blasting each other with 50-50s for life bars, and like the pressure is so suffocating, the offense is so suffocating. It's just dumb. I hate that game,
I,
in
I
my
think,
opinion.
yeah, no, no, you're allowed to have your opinion. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
I think I would also add the word monotonous to describe the game because it's essentially
No
like,
doubt.
yeah, like I enjoyed the game, especially when we had launching armor, and we can talk about that as well. But I feel like at some point, like I just kind of became burned out with the game because essentially what you're trying to do, like you said, you kind of run, and then you gotta, maybe you get a hit, and then you get a combo, and then essentially you're gonna probably carry the guy to the corner, and then you just mix, right? And then if the
Right.
guy gets this right, then he combos you, flips the pages, flips the screen rather, like flips the sides, I should say, and then
It's it's
it,
it's
it's
just like it's
yeah.
just gambling, dude. Turned up to the 11 on the dial. It's just gambling. It's just shoving 50-50s on your opponent all day long until you guess right or they guess wrong, and that's the game to me.
No, that's definitely. I think that's a fair. I don't think that's a inaccurate analysis. I think I think you're in the
Yeah.
spot. And then the second worst, I believe you mentioned MK11. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So, how do you feel about that game? I know it's a different beast, right? It's not
Yeah.
MKX.
Oh
It's
my
a new
God.
game.
Entirely.
Yeah. What do you
Okay.
think?
Let's start off with the good, right? Because it's not fourth. Okay. The customization is crazy. I personally loved the stupid variation names. That was incredible. Customization good. I love like changing your custom variations is cool. Stages are good. The neutral is a lot better in that game. It's like it's very slowed down. But then like that starts landsliding into the negatives. It's very slow, and if it was a flavor of ice cream, it's just fucking vanilla. It's the same shit every time you play the game, without fail. It's the same combos. It's the same conversion routes. It's the same everything every time. And God forbid you press the high button, any high button in that game, you're losing 40% because crushing blows exist. Crushing blows were cool, but they're just so Gerber baby. I don't know. There's nothing worse than like playing good, honest, neutral, and then you just lose your chin off a down 2 KB.
Yeah. Well, since you're MK, I think for me personally, we'll bring King Junior in a moment on this topic because I'm sure he's got his he wants to insert his two cents. I feel like to me, and we were just talking to Babe Coach yesterday, the content creator. I feel
Yeah.
like Mortal Kombat 11 to me is one of the most counterintuitive fighting games I've ever played in my life. And it has
God.
mostly to do with the universal mechanics. Like as I was telling Vape Coach, I was like, dude, like when you play the game, like any game, like what's the first thing you try to do? You try to do some combo, you go online and you try to do the combo in rank, right? Or again, it doesn't have to be online against your friend, right? What happens? Somebody in MK11, somebody breaks away and then they combo you in return, usually. And then you're like,
Yeah,
okay, you're already mad. And
you're
then also,
genuinely
yeah,
just getting punished for doing the right thing. You get hit, you get comboed, you take the damage. That's the game. That's fighting games, right? But in
yeah.
MK11, it's like, oh, if I break away at this specific moment, like I'm gonna stand up and hit them, for half their life bar because I have meter that just automatically regenerates on its own.
Yeah, those two things are related. And then I have another one for you. Like another thing also is like, what's the second thing most people would laugh? Like, like, okay, wake up. Like you try
Right.
to knock
Sure.
down and then you like force your pressure, right? Press the
Yeah.
advantage. It just, that term applies to pretty much any competitive game. And what's the thing that happens in Mortal Kombat 11? Well, somebody rolls, or they jump, or they do wake up buttons, or they do, or they delay wake up, or they do, wake up failable. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I feel like that's also like very counterintuitive to how most fighting games work. Even if they have strong defense, right? There's usually like, one or two strong options that they have, and that's kind of it. In MK11, there's like 10 options they could do.
Yeah. You put someone on their fucking ass in that game, like on the ground, like you're at a disadvantage. Like you're guessing a complete mix from their options from the ground every single time you try to, I don't know, do what you would do in any other fighting game, and just like try to meet either wake up or like use your plus frames on your knockdown. You just can't do that. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, that's another thing. And I guess the last thing that I would mention as well is the flawless block, the flawless blocking, which you would think, you kind of play the game. Oh, if there's a gap, I get to do this, and on defense, I get to do this, right? Like this is a good defensive mechanic. It's good for anti-air, but then it's just like most players don't even use it like that. Well, aside from the anti-air, they use it to steal turns when they do that. Obviously, Ninja
Oh
Killer
yeah.
was the most infamous example. Like he would do a string with Liu Kang or Fujin or whoever, and then like you try to get your turn back with a down one or a mid string or whatever the case might be, and then he launches you in return. It was essentially
Oh
kind of
yeah.
used like armor more than what it was advertised as. So like I know I'm yapping on this, but like to me personally, like the game just like the universal mechanics of they're in the wrong game. They really don't make any sense. They're not fun. The game also like has very for some characters like RoboCop literally has no combos. Like there's no depth to the character. Super boring. Very. I think he's also very weak. Like
Gun go burr.
yeah. So he does like one thing. Low gun
Yep.
whatever. It's just very very boring. But anyway, I don't. I was just wondering if you agree with my
Yeah, like flawless blocking was certainly a super good idea. I think MK1 is like the best iteration of it. They get no meter, no, and you take no damage. That's great. But if they lose their turn, if they do something like -6, and I try to press something, anything, like and they block, and I'm liable to just get launched in the sky for playing fighting games properly and taking my turn. And that shit is stupid. And it becomes just like, just a just a mess of just trying to like, okay, do I just frame my turn? Do I take it back immediately? Do I like potentially waste my frames and just like walk in his face to try to catch him trying to do the flawless block shit and like counter hit whatever button might come out? It's so bizarre. That's not replicated in any other fighting game on Earth, and it doesn't feel great to play. But I also have like 2,500 hours in that game. Like I played a disgusting amount of MK11.
yeah. No, I feel you. Well, just to let King Junior. I know King Junior kind of agrees with uh what we've been saying, but go ahead and King Junior jump in. I know you're especially adamant about the wake up buttons and stuff.
Yeah, I guess since you guys covered MK X and MK11. I'll finish off the rest of the MK games like in this topic or like since he ranked the games. But yeah, you guys kind of spoke a lot of the points I would have already said. Flawless block on hit and wake up buttons and all the comeback factors that were loaded into MK11 were just super frustrating to deal with. And fatal blow, like all the times that my heart stopped beating because I saw Jack's fatal blow and random neutral, or Liu Kang's fatal blow, or Garrus even with the vacuum, like.
Yep.
And then even if I did block it, I'm like panic mode and didn't even punish it all the time. It was hard sometimes because of the pushback and the non-freeze frames. Like, yeah, it was like watching a horror movie in the theaters with the loud bass boosted like volume and all that. But yeah, moving on to your second best MK game, I guess MK9. I know we played that at our local, actually, one of our locals. I think you sent me to losers, and then I lost to THTB's Reptile, but I forgot which.
Yeah.
I think it was a Midnight Crush. I don't think. I think it might have been one before.
Probably. That was the last one I went to.
I forgot which one it was, but
one that was like in February, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Then it had to have been Midnight Crush then.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. It was before Midnight Crush. I apologize. I remember now. Actually, me and my brother were grand finals for MK9. But yeah, about MK9, like what makes it your second favorite? Because that's personally my favorite Mortal Kombat game.
MK9 is just, MK9 is just sick. It's just a magical game. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like you get it or you don't. You know what I mean? Like the game is just like it's so fast and it's fucking busted and almost like every character's broke. And it's just I don't know. I feel like just crazy shit happens in that game and it feels very satisfying to play.
Yeah, yeah, so I know Dave. I know Dave's already gonna say some things at some point about this.
Yeah,
he's seething right now.
Yeah, probably hates Cabal. I mean, 6'4" Cabal. You know that character is fucking so carried.
No. Well, let me just get a. Well, yeah, the characters in the game are broken in the sense that half the cast is useless if you play the game.
Right.
Because you have like Shiva, who doesn't why is she in the game? Like she doesn't even function properly. That's just. I mean, that's just a terrible sign. Right? Then you have Kano was nerfed; he's useless. I mean, I could just go on. Then you have Jade. Jade was nerfed over, like over characters like Kabbalah.
Cyber Sub.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, but forget the characters. The game is just unplayable because you would literally, if you played it for money or for any serious competition, just the glitches alone, like who's going to get player one, who's going to get that side advantage. Then you have the meter drain glitch, which affects.
Yep.
For people who don't know, if you do an armor, there's a chance that you will do the special move. It will not come out, and you lose your meter. Then there's also the hitbox thing. I don't even have to talk about this. I mean, this is just nonstop, especially like with Melina's. Like she's not top tier, but some people take their hitbox issues very seriously. That's a complete disaster. Then if you hate armor, it's like super armor. It's not even real armor. So there's that. There's that. There's the balance. There's that. I mean, I'm probably like forgetting like 2 or 3 other things. The game to me is trash. Like, it's complete garbage. It's not even playable, so nobody plays it, right? Like, you can't even. It's not even by playable. I mean, it's not even accessible, right? And I got my top 8.
It's really not.
Yeah, and I got my top 8 in the game. I should be glazing it, but I really am not going to because I do think the game is garbage. Like, it's just also like oh my god, like certain moves, not too many, thank god, like randomly plus, randomly not, like Cage's forward 3.
Yep.
Jax's, what is it, forward 4,
Cabal's back
4-4-1-3,
back 1-2-1.
Yeah. So just like, what is this game? It's
a fucking disaster.
Yeah, it's a disaster. It's like a mishmash of just trash. So I cannot take the game seriously. I'm not saying it doesn't have good aspects. It does a couple, but I feel like that's one of the things wrong with the community. I think people just glaze the game, and I mean, you understand it, but a lot of the younger players, like who never played the game, just kind of listen to what Carl is saying, or what Tom might have said, and they, like, but the games, dude, I think it's really, really bad. And maybe it was okay for its time, fair enough, but it has aged incredibly
like
bad.
fucking milk.
It's spoiled
Dude,
steaks. Yeah.
feel like
I,
I don't know. I have like a stupid relationship with the game. Like I love it and I know it's awful.
Yeah.
And it's just I just love it, dude. Plain and simple. The game's just sick. But it's a broken disaster. And maybe if you pull up to a tournament, and there's 100 people in it, like you're gonna see the same, I don't know, 8 characters across every soul in that tournament.
I guess
And
to.
if
Oh, go
they're
ahead.
outside of like the top 8 most meta characters, like they're not. It's just impossible to win. Like you're not picking Shiva versus Cabal, and like you don't have a chance. That's like an 8-2 matchup, like genuinely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think to end off on MK9 from in a good note is like I think why we praise it, like despite the bad things and unholy things that the game comes with, quality wise and functionality wise, like I think a lot of people do like the pace it moves at, like in terms of mobility, the combos being flashy, some archetypes just existing, and in newer games like those archetypes have been lost to time and uh, fear from the developers and on like spectators and like backlash of any kind, competitive and casual stuff like that. But it was cool to see it at Combo Breaker. They had all 6 NRS games at Combo Breaker, which is awesome. And like, Injustice One is my second favorite game, which has like a bunch of issues, but not as many as MK9. But it's still like known to be a broken mess, and I love it just as much as MK9. It's always 50-50 with me on what I put first, whether it's MK9 or Injustice One. But uh, yeah, it's just that is like the traditional jab anti-airs I prefer. Like me personally, I don't know how you feel about like jab
Love it.
anti-airs. Yeah, you love it. That's awesome. But like yeah, and then I'll move on to MK1 though, cause I know me and Dave we always have different ideals on MK9, but it's just cool to see like another person's experience with it if they
Yeah.
played it, and I do think like uh I do think Dave's right in some regard. Like some people do probably cherry pick what they hear, even if they don't have any actually experience with it. But I do think it does sometimes get too much hate, and like I think sometimes Dave may be a little harsh on it, but it's a different story. Um,
The game is ass, but it's glorious. That's my
it's
Well,
final note.
it's
It's
like that.
glorious assness.
It might be like that toxic girlfriend that you have a
yeah.
situationship with or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Well,
know.
let me tell you, there have been a lot of games that I don't obviously that I have disliked. For example, MK11, I completely despise the game. However, the game is playable. It's not glitchy, Or even let's go back all the way, you know, what was it, 26 years ago or something, like even longer. Like Third Strike, I hate the game. Like I think it's the most ordinary Street Fighter game of all time. However, the game for what it is has aged well. Like it's a decent game, and obviously when Evo came along a couple of years ago, people did play it. So and many over 1,000 people showed up. So just because a game is old doesn't mean that it's bad or needs to be hated or you know that it doesn't deserve to be played. But I think MK9 in particular to me, like there's a reason why Combo Breaker it had the least entrance because yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
people may sing its praises, behind the scenes, but like when it comes down to playing, like we saw, I mean, we saw what we saw. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you like it, of course not. I like some games that people hate, but the point is the game just structurally functionally, it's just not good. Like that's just a fact. Like it just isn't. So I
MK9 is
kind
like
of
a wheelchair with nitrous.
well, whatever you may call it, hope whether it's you demoralize. I'll be like, don't take it personally if I hate the game. It's just that I think I have my reasons, and I'm not hating for the sake of hating because it's the game that kind of gave me my name because I got top 8 in it at Evo. But again, it's just the glitches are so out of control, and
Yeah, and
the quality.
Cyrax.
Well, I mean, dude, don't even get me started. Name anybody, name anybody in the top
Right.
5 is canceled to fight against. But
Good
Yeah,
yeah,
old
Dave's
Cyrax.
Dave's going through a podcast live as we speak with 2 smoke players, so that's
Yeah.
probably like one of the worst
I
days of
I
his life.
I play Cabal mainly, like 90% of the time.
well, he's also a piece of shit.
Yeah. I
But
won't
yeah.
even deny it.
Yeah, but yeah, let's ask you about as King Junior was gonna
Yeah,
ask you before.
MK1. Dave's
MK1.
Oh,
favorite.
dude.
The second
I
favorite
think,
Okay.
for me. Second favorite for me. So
yeah, to
I
me,
think this is gonna be a great MK1 podcast from here.
yeah, I think we're gonna make it about it. For me personally, I think I'm sure you would agree it's the most accessible in terms of like online. I know it's obviously still flawed,
Yeah.
but you can play it. You can turn on rank, level up any of your characters. The game is I mean, the balance is amazing. Like pretty much any of the characters, maybe you can say a couple, are not very good, but the game is just fun. Most of the aside from the cameo system, which I obviously is very controversial, nobody's denying that,
Mm.
but like everything else is pretty much like you knock somebody down, you have the advantage. The combos are long and flashy with the cameos. There's no hitbox issues. The block stun is smooth, even online. If something is -9, you can punish it. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So I feel like the game just makes sense. What do you think?
Right. Okay, so MK1. I kind of view MK1 like cameo system under the same light as MKX variation system. Like instead of me being limited to play my character with like 3 different variations in MKX, I have 16, I don't know, how many cameos are there? 16, 17, 18?
Something like that.
Yeah, sure. X amount of cameos. I have that X amount of variations of my character to play. I will say, I can't possibly imagine myself playing as much MK1 as I did if I'm not playing Gearus. Like if I'm putting thousands of hours into playing the game on, I don't know who's a brain dead character, Kung Lao Goro.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
if I'm just dumping armor at people all day, there is no way I would play the game as long as I did, as much as I did, any of it. But Gearus is fucking sick, and Gearus is infinite. Gearus does cool shit with every cameo. He's just the coolest character ever made in a fighting game. I said it. Gearus, MK1 Gearus is the sickest character ever put into a fighting game.
I
Amen to
think,
that, brother.
yeah, I know King Junior feels the same way about. I think Gears in this game, maybe not to devolve into the legacy topic again. I think he's probably in this game as good of a character design as NRS maybe has ever done. Um,
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
think he's deep. He's fun to play. In my opinion, obviously, he's very interesting to watch. So you don't really, you don't see him very often. Even Vape coaches were saying, "Man, we got to get more Gears," but it's like nobody around. Like,
Yeah,
so nobody's placing anymore. It's like, I
we'll
mean,
get to
obviously,
that.
yeah, we'll get to. We already know that the character can play. So I agree with you. I think Gears is like the pinnacle of NRS, gameplay design, and
Yeah.
hopefully we see more characters like that in the future.
Now, like whenever MK1 came out, back in MK11, I was playing like these Dream Eater Xbox only tournaments because I just have an Xbox. That's all I have. And I met this kid, Shock, and that's like to this day, that's my homie. I talk to him basically every day. Shout out to Shock. That's my goat. And I met him in some grand finals, and we became friends. And we played the MK11 for a while after. Whenever MK1 came out, he flew to my house from South Dakota, like a day before the game came out, and we literally just sat like in the room that I have my desk in my apartment, and we just played MK1 for a week. And I was struggling so fucking bad with Gearus. I did not understand anything that he was doing. For example, like Gearus is so in depth and weird. So if you do like 1-2 meter burn freeze and you try to pop them up, they have like a different hit reaction than if you do forward 1-2 freeze. In some instances, depends on the last button that hits them. But it's just like little shit like that. I had no idea why, but I was just so ass at the game when it came out. I was playing Gearus Sub-Zero for God's sake. Like in my head in the first week, I was like, this is it. There's this goddamn snap. That's crazy. I just have to put on this ice armor, and if I see them do anything, I snap. And it just wasn't working. And then eventually, I was like doom scrolling through the cameos, and I'm like, fuck, like I don't know what to do. And I landed on Kung Lao eventually. In the moment I started like degenerately labbing Kung Lao, I'm like, oh my god, this is it. Like this shit can do everything. I don't even remember who or when I saw like the time freeze, like the kidnap cancels first with Kung Lao, but I was like, oh my god, this is it. We've made it. This is the promised land. And Mataro was like really bad whenever the game came out. I think his low shot was like +2 or +3, but he kind of had like most of the tools that he has now, except for like the variating. I don't even know if that's a word. He didn't have the teleport options that he has now, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so Kung Lao was like the answer, and from there I was in the lab too much. I was just trying to, like, if I had an idea in my brain that something could happen, I would just lab until I like got that vision to appear on my screen, if that makes sense. And that's why Geras is so sick, because I don't think many other characters in any fighting game you could say that. That basically anything you can think of to do with a character is possible. Like, you can somehow make it possible with Geras.
Yeah, I know that King Jr. feels the same way. King Jr., do you think that Geras, this version, do you think this is the best designed character?
Yeah, I would
At least one.
say at least for Garrus, yeah, he's easily the best version of Garrus. He's definitely. I would have to really put some thought into it. I think I probably would give Garrus and MK1 the best like fighting game character design ever, because you're programming a sand clone in advance to do inputs, whether it's for mix-ups or reads. Like, if you think your opponent's going to jump over it or block a certain way, you can command it to do something based off what you're reading. The execution has to be tight in most cases with the sand clone, whether it's for optimal damage or opening up your opponent with a reset. Like, I was just labbing the command grab resets with the sand clone, which there's like two variations of it on the knockdown version, and it's like a tight execution window with the down one tick throw, but then it's like a 2 frame link, I think. I don't know. I can't count frames with the setup I have. I don't know how to do stuff like that, but it's a very tight window if you try to do the forward one tick throw setup off the sand clone knockdown. So uh, it's like I lab still to this day with him once in a while just to see if my like resets are sharp, and sometimes they're off some days, and yeah, it just takes so much optimization, and I think we are like reaching a cap with him finally, but it took a very long time, and even if we do reach
Yeah.
like that cap with him, it takes a lot of execution to do some of the things that are capped out with him. Like Phantom Blaze is another huge Garrus innovator. I feel like me,
Man,
Demoralize, and
what a goat.
yeah, Phantom Blaze. I think we innovated the character the most. Like Garrus,
No doubt.
like has a lot of representatives like Michael Seraphan and Gur, and they're probably better. Like, they're probably the undisputed top two. And like I know Dead Snow is out there in Texas, I believe it was. He won Texas Showdown, but and then that leaves me and Demoralize and some other Garrus players. I was like, but I would say me and Demoralize and Phantom Blaze definitely found like a whole bunch of tech, like nonstop Garrus tags on Twitter, like using the tag handle on
Yeah.
Twitter to like signal, like if you do the search of like MK1 Garrus like with a hashtag or something, you'll find Garrus tech or something. And yeah, dude, it was fun exploring that stuff. It was so much fun.
It doesn't make any sense, like, how deep he is. And that's like kind of what makes playing him never exhausting, at least to me, is like if you want to play Geras super well, it just demands perfection and everything you do with that character. Everything. Um, your setups have to be fucking perfect. You have these like big, slower-ish buttons, that you have to play around using, but if you hit, if you get a hit, you're granted the world. I'll be the first one to tell you. You let Gears hit you once, it might be over. It doesn't matter what your life bar is. If you have the resources, he can hit you with literally any button in his toolkit almost, minus like his sweep, and like I don't know, a poke. But anything that leads to a combo, you might just die on one hit.
Yeah,
Well, let me.
the best case
Oh,
scenario for Garrus is like if he gets you to use Breaker and then opens you up again, it's like
Oh
that's like
yeah, it's
with if he
wraps.
has resources, yeah, it's a that's a holiday for Garrus.
Yeah.
let me ask you, and then I'll demoralize. I want to ask you how you feel about certain matchups, and then we'll see whether King Junior agrees or not. Because I know there might be some slight disagreement. I'm obviously not going to ask every character, but maybe some of the more
Take
controversial,
yeah.
some of the more controversial matchups from what I heard from King Junior and from the Discord. So let's just kind of get started with. Um, so how does Gears do against a popular character like Homelander?
If you're if you're just playing excellent, just almost just perfect, I think it's a 5-5. If you're just a little off and like you feel yourself making mistakes, maybe that's like a too broad of a statement. But if you're anything but perfect, it's a 6-4. Homelander is very tough to fight for Geras, but it's super doable. You can armor his like flying kicks where he kicks you twice. You can just armor that gap all
Yeah,
day. That's not real. If he tries to like armor and fly away and have Farah grab him, you can just snap him out the sky. Or you can just meet him in the air and air to air him. That's definitely an option. Um, yeah, I don't know. He does just fine. If you bait that like mid range like laser that was a low and now it's a mid, that's just a free snap punish or like a back 1-2 even. Yeah, if you're playing perfect, I think it's a 5-5. Moral of the story.
King Junior, what do you think? I know you have maybe a slightly pessimistic view of the matchup.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminds me of MK9 Smoke. Like if you're playing him perfectly and got like every reset down for like 99% of your interactions, like maybe Smoke doesn't lose any matchups. And I'm not saying that's what Demoralize said, but it just reminds me of that same kind of talking point in terms of having perfect like execution. But even with perfect execution, in my opinion, I feel like Homelander still will win. But yeah, it's just diabolical dash uppercut punishes so much stuff to where it just seems like you're not allowed to use stuff like that versus him unless you
Yeah.
use like Motaro's far teleport and um, like that move alone just like I said, like I feel like you have to use more resources than Homelander does as Garrus. Like he's just mainly using Farah, which is just rechargeable due to time. Like it's just a time cooldown. That's it. But like hourglasses, there's no timer cooldown for them. You manually have to build them up. And
You gotta get him out life or death.
yeah, and then if you have Motaro cameo available and like if you use like far teleport, you're getting like on the super long cooldown, but a lot of the time you use far teleport is to make sure you don't get punished by diabolical dash uppercut. So I feel like Homelander kind of forces Garrus to use more of his resources and like just burn through him a little faster, and also just kind of restricts him a little more than some other characters do. So like that's why I feel like it's losing matchup for Garrus. Just 6-4 though. The armored attack does help against his flight pressure since we launch against airborne opponents. So, but yeah, I think it's 6-4, but it's still doable.
Yeah, did you also mention the fact that I know you're also kind of like passionate about the fact that that Homelander can always punish the sandstorm from pretty much any distance aside from full screen, right?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
diabolical dash uppercut. Oh yeah, contesting him in footsies is also really hard because his forward four is disjointed, has like very fast whiff recovery to where Garrus can almost never reach in time. He has to like hard commit a lot more in footsies, I think, than Homelander does. But yeah, those two things, just having like a damn near full screen presence to punish things, and just playing footsies with him is super difficult.
I agree. If I had to like as an outside observer, if I had to say, I would say it's probably a slight advantage in Homelander's favor because of some of the things you guys mentioned, like the footsies. And it just takes less mental, strength to play Homelander, right? Whereas Gears, you got to like keep track of so many things. So I think that kind of does affect the matchup at a high level. But let's move on. Let me ask you about Sector.
Um, 6-4, we lose. Um, just that goddamn jump away missile shit. It makes my ball sack shrivel. I can't stand it. Any person on Earth playing Sector, like if I'm choose to sit down and watch a stream and there's like a top 8 and you're watching Sector, I'm on my phone the whole game. I'm not looking at 1 second of the game. I don't care. Yeah, like okay, like you won, but like where I don't know. Just it's the most soulless. It's just dog shit. That's all I got to say. And Geras loses to her, which is probably also why I hate her. Yeah, the
Yeah,
jump away missiles, just Geras has the gaps in every damn thing he does, and getting armored with a flamethrower. Most of them just use Mataro and getting armored and launched through the billion gaps that Geras has. I don't know. It's just fucking ass.
King Jr., what do you think about the Sector matchup?
I think it's 5-5. If Snap didn't punish the flamethrower into Motaro teleport, like that would be really bad. I think that's like the main saving grace. And she did receive a lot of her nerfs with like the meter build and the damage she gets off her armor. Um, but yeah, sometimes I mean, if you don't have Snap, it is kind of rough sometimes, and you have to like try to open her up to set up your hourglasses because you can't really set them up against her in neutral too easily because she'll probably teleport punish you or air grenade you into a teleport like full combo. That's
Yeah, if
actually
you're
a
like
matchup I played a
down,
lot, like with Dave, and I've played a little bit against Sunio Sector as well.
if you're down in that matchup, it's such a hard hill to climb. It's like if you have no resources, she's just running from you. It's like you can't get a sandstorm out, because by the time one full screen instant air projectile hits, like the next one is about to follow, you get interrupted. I don't know. I just hate playing that character. I hate her whole design in this game.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her either, but not in the ways you see. I think she's the most. I think she's one of the most overrated characters in the game, and she thrives online. And the reason I know so because I actually ran a test. I hit nonstop overheads against King Jr. online. I'm like, is this real? Like, I wasn't sure. And then we played offline, and it was a completely different like scenario. I probably hit, I don't know, 40%, 35% of my back twos when I played him. And we have a really good connection. And then when we played
Yeah.
offline, if I had to say out of 50, I probably hit 5 of them. And they were not even as a mix-up. They were just more like, maybe like with the random button. And then I shimmied him, and then I hit back 2. Um, I
Is
just
her
feel like
overhead like what, like 23, 22,
20, 24, I think. If I'm not
24? Okay.
I could be, it might be something like that. I could test it. I have my game on. But the thing is, I know I'm kind of judging it not based on the Geras matchup because that matchup I can kind of see why it would be rough. And I do think pre-patch she beat him because she could actually just gain meter nonstop. But now if you like jump the missile, she doesn't really get any meter. So they essentially kind of ruin her gameplay. And I do feel like it affects her a lot. Um, Again, as an outsider looking in, I feel like if you're just patient, you build your stuff, don't let her like, uh yeah, it's 24 frames. Don't let her like, don't like let her don't make her, don't let her, make you lose your cool. I think I think you can make it 5-5. But you really like kind of like just want to take advantage of her what I think is really crappy up close game because she can't really mix you up. King Jujian will not fall for the back two, back three shimmy. That's not a thing. Like she can throw you obviously, but with most cameos, she doesn't really get any throw combos anyway, especially with her best. So she can kind of jump around, do that can be effective. But again, King Jr. is so good at like scouting that with his anti-airs and knowing when to up block, knowing when to do press one, knowing just sometimes when not to do anything. I feel like she's also like a massive knowledge check, just like Peacemaker. I literally just fought a sector player in ranked, far better record than I actually did. I beat him with with Melina Sector. Like, it's just a team I don't even use. Like, I feel like, but then again, I know Melina is a little bit different because she can get in
Yeah,
easily. So
Sector is for sure a tilt machine.
yeah. So but yeah, I would say, if I may, I would say pre-patch. I think she actually did beat him because she could build a lot more meter. But now I believe, um, I do believe it's even, just based on my experience. Um, Let me ask you about another controversial one. Kung Lao.
Gear speed's Kung Lao.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's a 6-4. He can't, like, if I block his armor, if I try to do forward 4-4, that's kind of the string that you do all day long with Garrus. You can get like a trade and like down one convert, which I can personally do 100% of the time. So arguably his best tool is just armored launching you all day long, and that is essentially just resulted or reduced to nothing. Like, if he armors, he comes off a bar and gets comboed.
King Junior, what do you think?
I wasn't expecting to hear such a bold response, but I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I've
Yeah,
also, like, Zyshok played Kung Lao whenever this game came out before Takeda. I played against so much Kung Lao, so maybe I'm just like overly confident because I've played against the character a billion times. I played against Kale in a set, online Kale. I played against his Kung Lao. I did just fine.
I think Kale, I got his opinion on it. He does think it's a bad matchup for Garrus. I could see, like, in a perfect world it being 5-5, but like his record against Garrus players in offline tournaments is just, he's lost to no Garrus players offline, so it's like it's kind of hard for me to, I mean, especially if he thinks like the matchup's bad, it's hard for me to like kind of contest his opinion because he's just killed every Garrus with his Kung Lao historically.
Yeah.
But maybe our execution just hasn't evolved yet. By the time
Yeah.
the game was in the state it's in now, and now offlines are not as prevalent. So maybe we were just a little late to the game, and I can agree it could be 5-5 in a perfect world. But some of the things that Kung Lao does have going for him is like his back one punishes the
Woo,
back one
6
two
frame,
string.
baby.
Yeah. So I mean, at least we could do back 1-2 time stop to bait that, but
Yep.
we got to be more cautious using that string. And obviously, like sector double missile into meter burn hats or meter burn spin into
Oh
like
yeah,
50-50. That's pretty messed up.
he's a walking casino.
Yeah.
That's throw low or grab.
But I could say I'd say 5-5 at worst. I don't know if I would say 6-4 in Garrus's favor ever, but yeah, I could see 5-5 or losing Garrus, like Garrus
So like,
loses.
all right, so like let's just
I'll
say
say
they
5-5
sector double
probably.
missile. I just TP across the screen. Like, is that shit hitting me sometimes? If I get like knocked down and I don't know, I'm back to the corner, like, sure. But you can armor his back three. That's like back three into whatever the other, the damn string, back three into overhead or back three into low. I don't know. You can armor that if you don't want to deal with the one frame fuzzy and just TP across the screen. You don't really got to interact with him too much. You just got to keep him. That's what I do personally. I just keep an honest space away from him. Or I kind of just like I'll try to train a Kung Lao while I'm playing them, if that makes sense. Like, I'll do a back 1-2, and if they punish me with their back one, because it's back 1-2 is -7, their back one's 6 frame startup. If they punish me, I'm like, okay, great. Like, they know this piece of information, I can use that to my advantage. And then that's whenever as a Gears player, we start ripping the dog shit. Like, I'm doing back 1-2 freeze on block into Mataro TP, and if it hits, great. If not, oh well, I'm out of there. Reset neutral. I don't think Kung Lao has like better neutral tools than Geras does. We got sweep, we got down 4, we got forward 1, we got forward 3, we got low Mataro shot. You could, I don't know, play neutral, maybe catch a projectile with like doing forward 1-2 and making the wall hit and hit confirming it with the snap. I think that Geras just does ever so slightly better against Kung Lao.
Kung Lao is a character that he's my main character in this game. I think it's
Mm.
even. I think it's even because all the stuff that I complained about Sector, Kung Lao doesn't have those weaknesses. Like for example, like if you get a missile going and you whiff a dive kick, it's a 50-50. Like it's an overhead or low, right? Then you can't react to it. And
Mm.
when you do double missile, you can even add the push to throw, right? And Kung Lao's combos have so much traveling, speed, and they kind of last very long. You'll probably recover like 1/3 of Sector by the time, like the damage is low, like it'll do like 20%, but still like 20%, like gaining essentially like half, like not half, like 75% of the screen, and having Sector on cooldown just ever so slightly. Like I would honestly consider picking, instead of Sector, I would consider picking Mavado in that matchup because you can punish Sandstorm pretty easily. You can like check random, like tail shots. If the
Yeah.
gear is played, yeah, you can do that.
Well,
You can get rid of it. With Mavado with the back throw, you have launching armor with Mavado. It's super easy. I have used it against King Junior before, and I found it highly effective. And then there's like other stuff people don't like. You can do like 2-1-2, which jails into the Mavado.
get a kamikaze grab.
Yeah, yeah. So dabble, like I think it's plus 10, so that will jail back into your 2-1. You can do a back throw, or you can do an overhead. I feel like there's good enough synergy with that cameo to make it work in that matchup. I have lost like online sets with Sector. I pick up Mavado and the Gears was like, what the hell? I can't Sandstorm. Like, they were
Yeah,
like, yeah,
Mavado cameo shits on Geras bad. Like we can't sandstorm any character in the game if they're on Mavado. We can't sandstorm. We're getting punished every time. We can't. Our
yeah.
forward three is faithfully getting punished. Um, can't
And
definitely can't
yeah,
hourglass.
yeah, exactly. Like, and also it's a wake up attack. So like if you hourglass at any point, you can just do it as
Right.
a wake up. And the good thing is, like, it kind of leaves you in that range. It's not too bad. I get that the footsie battle, like Kung Lao doesn't have a huge advantage, but Kung Lao does have armor that launches. And if you have 2 bars, you bet your ass I'm throwing that shit out into 30%, and I'm just gonna turtle out, spam projectile, let it cool down. I don't know. If I had to give it to somebody, I would say Kung Lao, but I think I would keep it as even in most circumstances. But there is the stuff that King Junior said, which is really in a tournament setting, like Kale is not really lost to Gears, I believe, ever. And I do believe it's just because of, I think he plays a matchup better than I do. Like, I feel like Gears, you just get in on top of him, you do enough damage, and really, like, what is he gonna do to you as long as you punish,
Hale is
Sandstorm?
so good.
Yeah, like you just pressure him, get enough damage, and make him waste his resources. Then Gears is, like Gears is scary when there's a life lead and resources. Then it's just like, oh my god, I don't want to fight this character. But when you make him waste his resources, and he doesn't have bar, and like he doesn't have hourglasses, he's like essentially like low mid tier. Like he's not gonna do anything to you. It's just
Yeah,
when
if
he
you
has those.
catch you
Yeah,
you catch Gears with his pants down, oh man, it's
yeah,
like whenever shit's going bad, with Gears, like it's bad, it's real
yeah.
bad.
So that's kind of how I judge the matchup. It's sometimes it is random, right? Depending who makes the right decision, and like what happens. But there have been times like, dude, I'm making the right read over and over again. It's just that King Junior has the resources, so I'm not doing any damage, right? We're just like essentially exchanging resources. So that's a
We
problem.
love
But
one bar breaker.
yeah, but I would keep it. I think it's 5-5. If anybody has the advantage, I would probably give it to Kung Lao. So, but that's just my opinion. I do want to move to
Sure.
another character. This is
Yeah.
the one. Honestly, this is the character I've been using as my secondary a lot recently, and I would probably use this character on Geras in a tournament if I had to, and that's Melina.
What do you think, Burrito? I'll let you go first.
Thank you, kind sir. I think it's bad for Garrus. She has
Yeah.
two special moves that can reversal punish Sandstorm. Teleport being the full screen option, like she just does meter burn, or she just does teleport and punishes it anywhere on screen. But if you don't need to use teleport, maybe because she's closer in range, she's in ball roll range. That's also a punish, but for a full combo. And trying to contest her pokes, like a lot of people usually complain that her down one's like -10 on block, but when your buttons are as slow as Garrus's, you're not going to get punished for using your down one like she would in other matchups because his forward one is 1 frame shy, and I believe his down four is 10 frames if I'm not mistaken. So I don't even think that can punish it. Maybe down three if it reaches, but yeah, like she's not worried to get punished for using her down one against Garrus, which is huge because a lot of people can just punish her down one back pretty easily if it reaches. But
Yeah.
she also has very hard combos to reverse time during. Uh, After like ball roll hits, that's like the best time I think to like reverse time. Otherwise, like your windows are kind of limited, and you're just gonna get stuffed in the process and just waste a bar,
Right.
not get your health back, and then it's just you're gonna be sad. And plus, her overhead just stacks damage really easily, and
It's just not
that
nice.
that's another thing that's hard to deal with too. Is like if you eat like two overheads, you're probably not going to be able to reverse time in a fast enough window to get your health back because the animation just takes so long. You have to get up off the ground, and you have to do some weird shit to reverse time and get some health back after eating some overheads. Like you have to like open up your opponent and reverse time immediately. So you have to like sacrifice damage just to use reverse time and get some health back. Which I have used that tech before, like against uh, Busman. He hit me with Havoc's armored hand, like helping hand attack. I ate like 30%, and I had Hourglass loaded. And after the knockdown, I got up and I found a grab in time. And immediately when I landed my grab, I did the reverse time purposely. And it was funny because Bean Cell in the crowd was actually like, "Oh no, he wasted it. Good, like that's great, awesome." But he didn't know I recovered health in that instance. So that was like my Garrus big brain using full like that was like DEFCON level 2 levels of tech with reverse time. So
I
uh,
think like if a Molina player really knows the matchup, I think that like it's it's super losing for Gearus. Definitely 4-6 matchup for Gearus, no doubt. Um, Whenever the Molinas like run up and just like stagger their stand one within their range, that's kind of like a proxy OS to like our forward three, and we just get sometimes just like auto anti-aired by that button. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but that's happened to me a lot. The damn sweep, I don't know what individual thought it was okay to make that shit +2, but it sure is. Her poke outranges Gearus's pokes for sure. I feel like she could just mash pokes all day on him.
yeah, because our
Uh,
fastest mid that isn't forward 1, our next fastest non-high attack is 14 frames with forward 4, and she can kind of just machine gun her pokes if they're like spaced out just enough. Like if
I was
they're
about to say
outside of
like
forward 4 range, and you can't like immediately back one her all the time because
right.
yeah, it's just we're just not our
Yeah,
buttons aren't fast enough.
her down one range, like if they're spacing their down one at like max range or almost max range, yeah, she could just poke you all day.
Yeah, I feel
And
like a
then
lot of. Oh, go
you
ahead.
start hesitating, and then then you start eating the dog shit. You're getting hit with 3 forward fours in a row, a couple sweeps, a grab. Just like whenever they know that they can just mash their pokes all day, it, it's so much harder.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the fact that she can punish Sandstorm anywhere on the screen, with the teleport, which is massive. If every character could do that, I feel like Gears would be useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will like completely like uh diminish his meter building and his space control. So the fact that she just does that, not to mention there's like she can launch. If you do too close, she can just roll. And
Right.
then everything else is just kind of Melina does what Melina does. Like the overhead is the most damaging of its kind. It does like over 11 and a half percent. It's safe against except when you fight like I don't know like what are they, like 3 4 characters. Obviously Gears is not one of them. He cannot punish it. Like I said, the sweeping, doing 7%, and then being also +2, and then like if you do it from the right range, there's down one. I feel like she just does whatever she needs to do to beat Gears. Like she just controls
Yep.
the pace. And against Gears, like if you control the pace of the matchup, then he's gonna struggle because that's what he wants to do. Um, I honestly might be his worst matchup, maybe, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think it could be like either her or Cyrax because
Ugh.
I think with Jack's cameo optimizations being made, like I played against Tree 50 I think his name is, um, and he was using Melina Jax versus me, and he was actually cameo ambushing or he was gotcha grabbing my Motaro assist, and like that's my +13 block advantage I normally would be able to use, but um, he's making my low string unsafe by doing that, and now you can't even use your low string if he has Jax assist available. So
Yeah.
to double down on Melina just beating Garrus like in a 1v1, when you factor in cameos too, like optimized Jack's gameplay, it was really tough. I think it was 3-1, but yeah, it's like that was just scratching the surface. I feel like I think there was times he did mess up the gotcha grab like maybe once, but yeah, it was like it felt really difficult. I know Michael Serafan. Last time I saw his opinion on a matchup, he said it was bad. I don't know what Gurr feels about the matchup. I don't remember what he said last, but yeah, that's her and Cyrax. I think are his hardest matchups for in my opinion.
Yeah, Gears Molina's not fun for Gears.
Well, I guess talk about Cyrex Nance since King Jr. brought up Cyrex. Any particular opinions on that one?
Fuck
Demoralized.
that character. I hate Cyrax so much. I play Brown Boy a lot, or used to. If you guys know who that is. He plays Cyrax really well. He plays Cyrax with a few cameos. Of course, he plays Cyrax and Madame Bo. We all know and love it.
I don't.
It's just so unfun to play against. It's like you get put on the ground and you just pray. As far as like a matchup, um, Gears is one of the many bad things about Gears is like once things aren't going your way, it's super hard to swing it in your way. It's kind of tough if you get knocked down in the corner. You got no hourglass, no resources. Like it's just bad. Like his options aren't super. His defensive options, aside from like TPing across the screen, if you are free to do that. But if Cyrax hits you once and with that goddamn net drain, oh yeah, you're in prison. You're serving 20 to life in that matchup.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's another character that Gear splits have lost a lot in tournament. I don't think I could be wrong. I don't think Gear has ever beaten a high level um Cyrex player. I could be wrong. It just seems like like once she gets going, she kind of just gets going. And
Yeah.
King Junior, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, is it also tricky to use time reversal on her as well when you're in the air? Like, is it very like difficult or is it not?
Kind
Yeah,
of.
it's pretty difficult. Like outside of the booger bomb, like and assuming you're not getting hit by that move from a farther reaching normal like forward two, that's pretty much your only opportunity to reverse time most of the time. Or after her aerial like combo extender, I think it's like jump 1-2 where she does the buzzsaw downwards and bounces you up the ground.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
like prime time reverse time, like you know. But outside those two things, like you're kind of too far away. You're probably gonna get punished, and she's just gonna
Yeah.
punish you for
That's
like
another element to to that whole matchup that makes it awful for Geras. Even if you do have your resources, like she has to hit you in such a way that you can even use your one bar breaker like successfully. But her foam ball, um, like it doesn't always freeze you at the exact same positioning every time. If that makes sense. Like if I freeze you with Geras with my back forward one, like it's hitting the same way every time. But with Cyrax, she can throw it at you point blank, varying ranges based on what normal hits you. It's just bad. It's
Yeah,
just
like
bad.
some of her normals and strings knock you further away on hit, like 1-1, 4-2.
Right. Right.
I think stand 2. But like, yeah, just and also like if she drains your meter, like you might not even be able to reverse time, and by the time you get your bar back
Yeah.
after getting drained, like you don't have an opportunity to reverse time, and that's like doubled if she's using Serena cameo, which me
Yeah.
personally, I think Serena's her best cameo versus Garrus for that reason. Like the meter drain is just kind of
Oh,
overkill.
you know we've both been there, brother. Like you're sitting on your hourglass, locked and loaded, but you don't got a bar or a chance to stand up. The moment you get up, you're in the vortex.
Yeah.
And the vortex leads to your meter getting drained all over again.
Yeah, I think she's one of the. I generally don't find this game very frustrating, but Cyrax, especially pre-patch when
Oh yeah.
the foam didn't disappear when you would trade. I think she beat Kog'Maw really, really bad. Now, obviously, it's a little bit better because at least you can try to zone her before she does her shenanigans. But yeah, she is. That's the reason why like I get salty sometimes at the nerfed sector. Like because you have like a super oppressive kicker like that, which just knock you down, literally like win the game off of one hit potentially, and then like it's and then they have the audacity to nerf like sector's meter build. It's just like I get really, really frustrated. Like if you're gonna have like really uh, like polarized gameplay, like give it to both sides. And I feel like Cyrax is just one of those characters, man. If you cannot run away from her at all, like you're just gonna get bodied. Like because even like playing neutral against her, like she doesn't have the best neutral. However, it doesn't matter because if she hits you once, she's gonna win. So like you're always so scared. Oh, is this stupid over gonna hit me? Is it gonna low profile my low poke? Right? Is she just randomly gonna jump in, or is she just gonna dash in back 3-3? And then it's just very, very
Man grab
scary.
you for a whole
Yeah,
launcher.
exactly. Is she gonna command grab? Is she gonna dash and command grab you? It's just very, very scary to play against. Yeah, she's probably my least favorite, aside from maybe pre-patch Kenshi with the what was it, 15 seconds of Sento. She's
Yeah.
one of my least favorite characters to fight against because it's does feel like you're just kind of playing like Russian roulette. You're gambling. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Like you don't know what setups they're gonna
Yeah.
do. You're constantly stressed out. But so both of you agree that Garrus loses?
Yeah, no doubt. Cyrax is the most anti-fun character in MK1.
Yeah,
Just no fun allowed.
to
But
add like insult to injury too, she can reversal punish Garrus's forward 1-2 with her armor move like OS like fashion. So like even if we just do forward 1-2 by itself, she can reversal punish it on block because it's minus enough and her armored attack is fast enough.
yeah,
And
she can also
yeah,
just dash forward through the string, mid-string, on block. She can block forward 1, and I can try to do forward 1-2. She could dash forward into buttons and just kill me for it.
yeah, I think Sindel can do the same thing as some other characters too, which a lot of
Yeah.
people overlook that about Garrus, but
Cicada
yeah,
can.
he is a polarizing character to some people. The fight, like I don't think he's that bad in terms of runaway, but my tolerance for like higher power levels or shenanigans of a lot of kinds are pretty. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of tolerance for that kind of stuff. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, I know you do.
similar
Let me.
to oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask some more characters. Um, how about well again more controversial ones? Quan Chi.
God. Oh, God, Quan Chi. God's greatest gift to Earth, Quan Chi. Ah, that fucking armor portal, dude. That armor portal. Five. We could still punish his full screen little kick thing, right?
Yeah. The stand
Yeah.
4 you can whiff punish with snap if you're ready for it, and then you can
Yeah,
up block
5-5.
punish the overhead kick. But I mean, Dave already knows how I feel about Quan. I think he's massively overrated. Not to say he's unviable, but I think he's like bottom
Yeah,
2
he's
with
just
Tanya.
annoying, but
Like
like, I
he's
think
just
the
like
right
a
answer is 5-5.
yeah. I don't think he's as bad as what people say to deal with. Like I don't know. I don't like I said. There's better characters that do what he does. Like there's just a lot of characters that do what he does but better. Sure, he might have armor more often than other characters, but yeah, it's just he has a really bad matchup chart, and I'm not gonna rehash the whole sad violin story, but um, yeah, that's just my very quick thoughts. I think it's 5-5. I do have a question lined up if you have your response, and Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Similar to Dave's game of like pick said character and give your thoughts. Kind of briefly mentioned the idea of legacy earlier, but I'm gonna put it in a little game fashion. Kind of like how Dave did. So like, are you do you like breakers? Yes or no?
Like
Like
breaker, like an MK1.
yeah, MK1 breakers to where like you
Yeah,
can't
absolutely.
OTG like your opponent like an MK9 afterwards.
Right. Yeah, and MK. I love the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna spend this resource, and we're just fully resetting neutral. It's perfect.
And the 3 bar cost you also like, or do you prefer 2 bar cost?
I'm gonna say 3, because like getting hit in a fighting game. Well, I don't know, because MK1 is a little strange, because the cameo system makes opening people up. I wouldn't say easy, but easier, if that makes sense. So like 3 bars is tough, but I think I prefer three bars to break.
Yeah, I
Like
think I also prefer
why
three
are you
bars
getting
too.
any ounce of reward for losing the game? You know. So
Yeah,
like
and I
if you have it, you have to come off it.
And I think having like 2 bar breakers would, at least in Mortal Kombat 1, like would interfere with the pacing too much. I think people would be breaking all the time. Not as much as they probably broke in Mortal Kombat 11, but like it would kind of interfere with the, with the nature of the combos and the nature, the flow of the game. Uh, I think 3 bars is perfect. Although like the damage in this game is fucking crazy sometimes, right? Like, uh,
Don't I know it?
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I think
Uh,
sorry, you go ahead.
no, go ahead. I have nothing. I'm just making sounds.
Oh, yeah, us Garrus players tend to do that, huh?
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a primal urge.
the So like the meter build in MK1 is different compared to other previous games. Like you build meter on hit when you're hitting your opponent, like in Injustice games. Like I prefer not building meter on hit. So like we do build meter slightly faster, and like I think that's partially why they did 3 bar breakers. But like, uh, do you prefer the meter build on hit or on block? Like, would you rather not build bar on hit or build bar only on like block and on special moves, stuff like that? Because some people would do like optimal damage or meter build combos, for example. But when you build meter in every scenario, it's like those aren't like as prevalent. But yeah, what do you think? Building meter on hit or not?
I think you're rewarded for hitting your opponent in the fighting game. Like, yeah, you should. That good things should come from that. Because MK9 with all of its absolutely disgusting block string pressure, like you're essentially just guaranteeing meter, if that makes sense. Whatever they do in the future, they can do whatever they want, but the MK11 bar system can never come back.
Yeah, you actually just answered one of my other follow up questions. Was the yeah like not having any kind of regenerating resource of any kind.
Yeah,
Meters more so.
literally every defensive option from MK11 minus flawless block can never return.
Yeah, that's I feel you on that. How do you feel
I like.
about? Oh, go ahead.
Let me just interject here. I like that you're honest in your opinions because I think the reason I was beefing with certain Mortal Kombat 9, I'm sorry, certain Mortal Kombat 11 players, most notably Rio, is because like I acknowledge you don't like cameos, you're not gonna like MK11, right? That's just a fact. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna mince words with you. And I feel like you're the same way. Like you literally said, look, I played Mortal Kombat 11 a lot. However, I understand why people would dislike
Yeah,
universal mechanics, and it's just about honesty. Like in order like to maybe come to a conclusion, or like not necessarily be friends, but it's like, like, okay, I understand where people are coming from. I think that's the least that
Right.
we can kind of agree on.
Yeah, if you're just like blind riding the meat of MK11, like this is the greatest game ever, you might have severe brain damage, or that has to be the only MK game you've ever played. So it's one or the other. You have 30% of your brain functioning, or you've never played a different MK.
Yeah.
Because like MK11 is like sick, of course. Like there's so much good shit about it, but not just like, okay, you knock someone down, okay, are they gonna wake up 2, up 3, roll forward, roll backwards, delay, wake up buttons, wake up, fatal blow? It's just disgusting. Oh, and like, okay, am I gonna get a combo, right? So like Geras in particular, he had like sand trap. So if I hit you and you have breaker, like I have to guess that you're gonna break, and I have to essentially drop my combo on a read. And like if you break, my sand trap is hitting, so I have to shorten my combo, shorten my reward for hitting you on a read. But I just opened you up to get in this scenario in the first place. It's just not right. It's just dumb.
No, yeah, but sorry for interrupting. King Junior, go ahead. I agree with everything that Demoralize has just said.
Would you want up block to return, or would you rather have another anti-air system or jab anti-airs?
It's a good question.
Or
This is like
you
selfish.
you could have both if you want to, if you like both.
Yeah, okay. To answer your question, first of all, I think both are really good. I think uplock is for sure a super good idea. I don't like the fact that it's like a delayable thing. I think it should be tightened, like more skillful. Because you can uplock and it will uplock for you and cancel quickly, but you can like uplock and hold up and uplock longer. And that's just like, I don't know. I feel like defensive things should be harder. Like flawless block is perfect, especially in MK1. Like if you can flawless block any part of the string, great. It's just like nothing's necessarily happening. It's just like you're rewarded. You're still stuck in this state of having to block. You're not at any disadvantage. They're not at a disadvantage. You're just not losing health for blocking. That's fine. I just think that up blocking should be tightened, but it should for sure come back. And I was gonna say I fucking love NJPs like an MK9, MKX. I would love an NJP to come back.
What about the jab anti-airs? You like those too, or
Oh, forever,
no?
yeah. That just has to be a staple.
How do you feel about pokes? Like, do you want them to be punishable like in MK1, or do you want them to be like safe, but like maybe like bare minimum minus frames to where like you're not getting full combo punish in some cases, or poke punished like MKX? And we're not talking low profile ability either. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we can all agree nobody wants to see low profiling pokes again.
Maybe this is a hot take, but like everybody should have their own down one, their own animation. They do whatever. Their own down 3, their own animation, their own reach, whatever. Their own down 4, same thing. But I think that every character's poke, like negative frames or hit, on hit frames, they should all just be normalized the exact same. Is that dumb?
No, I think that's a good and I know Dave probably has a response too, but like I think that's good. Like I like how, and I'm biased because I'm a Ferritor player, but like I liked how Ferritor and Lackey had like the farthest reaching down one ever, like known to man, and like Goro had like his down one, and Dragon Fangs that had some extra reach. Like it's cool, like a character's pokes, just as as bare bones as pokes are, they can be unique to every character. Like Melina's MK1 down one is really far
Right.
reaching, super negative, if not punishable in some cases. But, then you have Garrus who has super stubby down one, and like that's just part of like it's negative
almost feels
reaching.
inverted.
Yeah, it's negative
Yeah.
reaching. Like it's
Swear.
but it's like I think it's a good way that you can differentiate characters and balance them as well. So like I'm for like what you just said. What do you think, Dave?
Like
Oh,
I don't know.
No, yeah.
Every character
No,
should
go
just
ahead,
have have their own unique animation. You know, like, okay, not every character is going to have a super far reaching down one. You know, that's fine. That's just unique to their own character. But every single poke should be like, I don't know, like the standard 7-frame startup. Let's go with that, sure. And maybe like -5 on hit. And I'm sorry, Jesus, -5 on block. And like maybe like plus, I don't know, what's a good number to be plus on hit?
I think it varies from character to character. Just a exaggerated example. Like Kano's down one in MKX, I think was like +22, so he could jail his
Okay,
50/50s
fuck
off of
that.
that. But like, if you're a character with slower buttons, maybe like as long as you don't have two-way mix, like you can maybe
I'm
have
thinking like
like a
plus
good
10.
like a nice double-digit hit advantage, like maybe +12, +14. I don't know. I think it varies a
Yeah.
little bit. But like
I'm
at
thinking
least be
like
able to
plus 10.
jail like your follow up and not be able to get armored. Because that's
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah.
I don't like about the hit advantage in MK1's pokes is a lot of them aren't plus enough and people just can armor on hit sometimes if you're because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of mids are slower in this game and
Yeah.
sometimes they knock you far away too much to where you can't dash up and jail. So then you get armored on hit. That's one criticism I have about the MK1 poke system. Like I don't mind that they're punishable, if I had a preference, I would like them to be safe, but at the bare minimum, like negative frames. But yeah, I just wish they were more plus on hit, like an MKX.
Yeah, I think like
Obviously, your character shouldn't have two-way mix though off your poke.
I think in a perfect world, a down 3 is like the lowest amount of plus frames on hit. A down 1 is like medium plus frames, and a down 4 is like the most amount of plus frames. Whatever normalized number that would be spread across the whole game.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair
I
enough.
think so. Essentially, you want like different down ones for every character, or do you want universal ones?
I just want
I
universal frame
Yeah,
data
he wants
on
Oh, I
universal
see.
frame data,
pokes.
but like animations are different and vary.
Yeah, they should be different.
Um, what do you think about X-rays slash fatal blows, or would you rather have neither?
I guess. Okay, well, first and foremost, if I'm picking one to exist, it's going to be X-rays because you got to spend 3 bars. Fatal blows are just. I have no other word for it other than just stupid. They're just dumb. You're getting okay, like you're actively getting your ass beat in the fighting game. In what world does it make sense that you're rewarded? Like you get to 30% and you have a super because what? Because you were getting your ass beat? It just doesn't make sense. Fatal blows are trash.
I'll let you take this one, Dave, if you want. I feel like I've been
I just
machine
feel like
gunning these
no,
questions.
absolutely no, because I've been talking for a while. I just think like X-rays are useless. They were pretty useless in both
They
games.
are. Yeah.
So I think fatal blows I do think need to be looked at a little bit. To what extent, honestly, I'm not even sure yet, but definitely they need to be looked at. Maybe the problem is like if you break them and somebody uses a fatal blow, like are they wasted permanently or not? I think that needs to be looked at. I don't know, like but the cooldown maybe needs to be longer. All of them need to be like super unsafe with no pushback. I think
Yeah.
that's something that like that people hate. There's like stuff like Homelanders for some reason still has like a lot of shenanigans. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I think those like two things need to be looked at: cooldown and then also look at the push block on block.
Um, I I always had this idea that like if you okay, we're keeping fatal blows, right? This is what we should do. You get it one time on hit, on whiff, on block, whatever. If you use it, it's gone. Period. Round 1, round 2, round 3, it lasts until you use it and then it's gone. If it gets blocked or whiff, it should be like -1,000. Like there should be zero scenario where like I'm going to miss this punish because Homelander is Homelander, for example. Or like MK11 had a hilarious problem on like just the nuttiest pushback on these fatal blows. They would just throw a super at you like Jax, just fly at you across the screen, and if it hits you, it's doing 30%. He's arms are heated up and he's walking right up to you, and he has 30 billion crushing blows off of his heated hands. And if you block it, congrats. He's gonna have it again in 10 seconds. Good luck. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
just
fatal
yeah
blows are just
yeah
one-time use, negative 1,000. Like I want, like in this game, like I want Lee May to throw out 2 lanterns, do a taunt, and combo me if I miss my fatal blow. Like I need like a whole cutscene for whiffing my fatal blow, or getting it blocked.
yeah. I think the thing, I think we kind of describing the same issue. It's the push block, the pushback on block, as well as the cooldown is probably a little bit too fast. That just people keep spamming them over and over again. Even though like the issue to a decent extent has been fixed, right? Because the Mortal Kombat 11, especially initially, oh my god, it was so, and it still is kind of bad, right? I played the game like last summer, not this summer, and man, oh man, people just keep throwing them out like nonstop, and it was very difficult, and still is. Like they were still like very difficult to punish. Sometimes, and sometimes they whiff front of your face. You're not really sure. It was so weird. Like
Yeah.
that, honestly, like as much as I complain about everything else, like that still might be the most like random aspect about the game. Like just like people just randomly throwing them out and just getting results. I think they're far worse in Mortal Kombat 11 now that I think about it. Than
Oh, for sure. The bigger war criminal of the two is MK11 and the fatal blow regard.
yeah. Just to touch upon real quick what you mentioned earlier, I do like I still think uplock is good because it allows certain moves to exist. Like, can you imagine fighting Peacemaker without an uplock? I mean, it would be unbearable, right? Like,
Yeah, hell on earth.
yeah, or even to a lesser extent, like Conan, right? Because you can uplock his overhead and strings. Like, you would be taking that up the ass nonstop. I mean, it would be literally ridiculous. So I believe I think uplock should stay. Now, can it use some refinements as you suggested? Absolutely, and I would be okay with those changes.
Just tighten the window. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you can kind of hold up block for a long time, and if I guess if they just see you holding it and jump in at you, like I guess that's their fault. But like it should be a little tighter. Like your up block active frames should be like 5.
Yeah, we can, and obviously the suggestions would require testing, but by and large, like when King Jr. and I have a conversation, he complains about the jumping. I mean, unless you're playing like Nitara, obviously Sub Zero, the characters were kind of designed to change their shenanigans and the jump arc or
Right.
their mobility in the air.
Rain, T1000, Katana,
I
Johnny
don't care about.
Cage. Those jump kicks are so annoying. Like you
Yeah,
pretty much
Johnny
have to
Cage's.
up block, but
I
it
Yeah.
seems
think
it
the
seems like your
reason,
only option is up block, and
well,
that's not my preference, but yeah,
well,
that's just me.
the fact that if I'm using Kung Lao or even better example is Havoc, I mean you can jump on me and you might get a reward. If I block you with if I up block you with Havoc, I'm gonna do 50% to you, and then you could jump again if you want. Like, this game, unlike Mortal Kombat 11, where your only option is to do a stupid ass, essentially a just frame with with flawless block up two, and even then the damage was ass. People just wouldn't stop jumping. I believe I watched a combo break. I literally, if I'm not mistaken, uh, somebody might have been using Cabal, and he just jumped nonstop. I was just nonstop, and the guy obviously his flawless block timing was off, and he's just like he would jump nonstop. In Mortal Kombat 1, you do that stuff. Even if you fight a low tier, like I think Lee May, I don't think she's that strong, but she's good enough, obviously. If you jump on her and she up blocks, you will eat 50%, like when she
Yeah.
hits. And that
Faithfully.
yeah, and that's what stops the game from devolving into the jumping fest that to some extent Mortal Kombat 11 was. And I like that. And by the way,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like a just frame because you're gonna mess people up online. Like kind of like they mess people up online with these fake ass overheads that they add into the game like sectors. It kind of like hurts the game more than it helps in my opinion when they add bad designs like that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But let me ask you maybe a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Um, So we usually end the podcast by asking our guests like what are your plans for the future, depending on which game is released, or even if the game you want to play is already released. I don't know if you're interested like in Tokon, the Marvel game, or if you plan on playing something else. What are your plans?
Dude, I play MK, and like that's it. Like I don't play Injustice. I played a little bit of Tekken, but like not really. Um, I don't know, dude. I turned 29 in like I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I just work. I have a special needs kid at home. You know, life's just busy. So like as far as like pursuing some like other fighting game, I don't know. They announced MK2 though. Yeah, whatever fucking title they want to give the next one. I mean, I'm gonna be on it. Probably just as hard as I was on MK1. It's
No,
just
I
like no other fighting game scratches the 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 primal urge in my brain. And no, I mean, I'm into some dog shit things. I understand, but like, don't let what I'm saying affect a soul on this planet. But like, if it's an anime fighter, for example, I can't even be bothered to look at it, let alone try to play it. I don't. I'm not gonna watch Street Fighter. I'm not gonna play Street Fighter. I'm just like I'm just into MK. It's like for fighting games, and I've always been like even on like the back when I had a PS2, like the everybody had that binder that you just put your discs in. I had a bunch of games, and the only fighting games were just I actually had Def Jam, of course, but
Yeah,
they were
Def
just all
Jam.
MK. Yeah, of course. I've just been into MK forever. I don't know why. It's just what it is. So, moral of the story: they drop some MK, I don't know, 37, whatever disgusting title they give the next one. I'll probably be there.
No, I respect it. And the last question I want to ask you,
Yeah.
I noticed on your YouTube channel you haven't uploaded anything in a while, right? For months, if I'm not mistaken. Is that going to change in the? Or I understand you're busy, right? Or are you going to looking
Right.
again? We're just waiting for a different game to come out, and then you will upload stuff.
Um, actually, in my hands right now is just simply a piece of paper with a bunch of timestamps from a recent stream where I played MK9, MKX, MK11, MK1 with a homie. I just have to edit this, and I'm gonna make a YouTube video of just sets from all four of those games. But aside from that, like I just don't know what is left for me to do in MK1. You know, like
Right.
I got at least for my channel personally, I made all these Gearus guides. I made like some cool clip compilations that were like just sick, crazy Gearus clips with some memes, some good funny memes clips in there. I got sets with a ton of great players. I got a set with Sonic Fox on my channel. I got a mirror match with Gurr. I got games with Franco. I don't know what is left, if that makes sense. Like if I
No,
get like
yeah,
a Ninja Killa set,
yeah.
like hell yeah. But that guy's too busy being the greatest law on earth.
Yeah, and you also have a set of with online kill as well, which is one of your most recent uploads, so people can check that
Yeah.
out. So yeah,
Yeah, I just like I'm running out of like ideas. You know, like how many people care to watch just like another Demoralize first to 7 video? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like how many more do I care to make? Like everything I ever wanted to do with the game I've done. You know, I got my name out there. People know who I am, and that's sick. And the only reason I ever started uploading anything to YouTube was when I'm 60 years old and my fucking thumbs are dead. You know, like I just want to be able to look back at something and be like, man, I was fucking sick. Like I was nice.
no, yeah, fair enough.
What
Other,
what
go ahead.
oh sorry. I was about to say since Garrus, like I'm assuming Garrus is probably your favorite character at the moment, like of all time, or did you have a favorite character before Garrus, or still have a favorite character that isn't Garrus? And like maybe they're not in MK1 or they just didn't fit the play style, and Garrus was there fitting the play style you like desired. Like,
Well, man, I'll tell you what. When I saw the, MK11 trailer with Gearus in it, I was like, holy shit, that's my goat. I don't even know who he is, but that's my goat. So, I don't know. Take this as you will, but it was like love at first sight. I was like, damn, that guy just resonating aura. They cut his fucking head off, and he just stood back up like crazy. Before Gearus, I think like the very first character that I thought was sick was Kung Lao. Because if you remember at the very beginning, I saw Perfect Legend just flying around the screen and shit. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And I tried playing Kung Lao in MK9 whenever I very first got the game, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but I'm not doing that. And I landed on Smoke. So like I think like my lineage of like favorite characters was like Lao, and then Smoke, and then like Cabal. And then MKX had no Cabal. I played probably like half the roster in MKX. But whenever Predator came out, I'm like, dude, this character is nuts. Like he has that aura. Like I won't play a single character in a fighting game that I don't like feel in my nutsack. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Or am I like
No, not at
different?
all. I think I'm also for the most part a character loyalist. I like
Yeah.
not necessarily with characters, but like I guess let me kind of backtrack a little bit. I'm more of a like archetype loyalist, right?
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure, yeah.
if I can play, if you give me like a zoning defensive, slightly offensive style that I can incorporate into my game, I will use that character. Because Kung Lao is not one of my favorites, but the design is one of the wrong character, but like I like the way he plays in this game. I hope we get more of this. Like decent zoning, well, actually one of the better zoning in the game for sure. Um,
Yeah.
Good armor, not scrubby like it was pre-patch, right? You can just throw it out. It's 2 bars, so there's some decision making. Then they gave him
Yeah,
another
for sure.
armor. Doesn't have the best footsies, which kind of makes sense with this design. He kind of never had great footsies, so I like that stuff. So I can play defensive with armor. I can zone. Offense is pretty straightforward with your missile when you use sector, and to a lesser extent Mavado, etc., etc. That's kind of what I'm loyal to. That's why I like sector. At least I used to. And then I like Havoc as well. He's one of my main characters. They kind of play similar with the armor and stuff. So
Yeah. If I had to pick an archetype, like I just want like I want a character that has a lot of player expression. Like if you
yeah,
watch Burritos Gearus and you have no idea who's playing Gearus, you could probably tell who's playing Gearus if you're that chronically online. You know what I mean? If you pay attention that much. Like I could watch 100 people play Gearus, but the moment I see Burrito, I know who's playing Gearus, and that's how I feel. Like I'm looking for like an archetype. Like I want character expression, player expression. Um, I don't care if they have bad tools, good tools. Um, that's what especially Gearus and MK1 taught me is no matter how bad it may seem, I'm gonna make it work. Because whenever this game came out and I was on Gearus Sub-Zero and struggling, I found a way to make it work. And here we are now.
yeah, I really hope that NRS, if they bring back Garrus, I really hope they use my favorite L word in Legacy with him specifically. Because if they redesign him and it's for the worse, or like I always say, I don't know how you top the MK1 design for Garrus. Like, I really want to see it
Sandtrap.
carry over. Like, yeah, dude, Sandtrap was, yeah, MK11
Just give us
Sandtrap was
Sandtrap.
crazy. Oh man, MK11 did have some cool moves though, like the step back move, but yeah, just it was too
Oh
expensive of
God.
a move. That move was
I
so
played
like conceptually though, that move's cool, and like he could take and add time away from the clock, which was hilarious too.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, that was
yeah.
banned. Yeah, I remember that being banned.
Dude, stepping it back is the coolest special move. You can like whiff cancel shit just for nothing. Like the big forward 1 button, you could just go in with it and back right out and get him to whiff. It's good shit.
Yeah, that's a move I want to see come back because conceptually it was super cool, but in MK11 execution it was not good. It was just too expensive, both in the custom department and the meter like regenerating department. But
Yeah, it did. It was 2 customization slots to put that thing on.
yeah, I don't understand why, but like that
Yeah,
move conceptually was cool though. Like I would like to see it
yeah,
come back because like it reverted your like the move you did that had any forward advance movement, it would set you back to the starting point of the move you used. So like
yeah.
it was just really cool. Like you created some cool spacing with it and got some plus frames off like forward 3 and back 2, and depending on the active frames you landed, you can get more. But yeah, I just hope they continue with this design for Garrus and some other characters too, because like there's other designs I like from MK1 or in past games that in the past games either got scrapped or were just given to other characters. Maybe not for the best reasons, but like Noob Saibot's design in MK1, I hope returns and is expanded upon.
Oh,
Shang
Noob is
Tsung's
sick in this game.
concept too, like yeah, Shang's like morphing concept is cool to
Yeah,
me,
super sick.
and like Johnny Cage's star power. He's more than just doing knees like 24/7 now.
Yeah, 4 3 3s.
Like it's a good way to make a character interesting. And yeah, I just hope NRS is listening in that regard. Please do Garrus justice if he's in the next MK game.
Listen, even if Garrus tragically misses the next MK title, I'm gonna find any character that allows like character player expression and it has like some sick stuff, or even if they're ass, like it just, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna go to practice mode. I'm gonna press buttons on all the characters. I'm gonna try to lab some stuff, and if I feel it in my nutsack, that's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah, that's a good mentality to live by, and of course,
Yeah,
along with being a top tier, right?
yeah. And just like in MK11, like I said, my day one 3 characters that I know I was playing was Gira, Cetrion, Cabal, and those characters were fucked. Maybe not Cabal. He wasn't like broke until like Slight Gas came with the custom variations.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I hit the goddamn lottery with that pick. But like now Geras has like infected my brain to where I'm gonna think in the future that I can make any character work, like I did in MK1, because I was struggling at the beginning and then I wasn't. So I'm gonna try to carry that into the next title, and maybe I'm feeling Reptile in the next game. Maybe not. Maybe someone else. Maybe it's Geras. If Geras is in the game, I'm playing him. Period. Um, if he's not in the game, I'll find the answer. That's all I know.
Well, how about some maybe some people at least in the FGC or even closer to home? Who are some people you may want to give a shout outs to before we wrap it up?
Man, shout outs. Zyshok's my training partner of like a long time, since like MK11 was like alive. That guy has infuriated me by being better than me for a long time, and he's definitely made me better. So shout out to Zyshok.
Is he
Dude,
also from Ohio or is he from somewhere else?
if you can believe it or not, that guy is from South Dakota, as if any
Oh
human
wow.
being actually lives there. That is,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that place is real after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Shout out Zyshok, Brown Boy, my homie Tyler, my fucking baby mom. Shout out Obama. Yeah, that's it.
Well, on that note, we want to thank you for coming on.
Of course.
This is Demoralize, one of the best gears, not just players, lab rats, right? Is that
That's
guys?
I would be on my hands and knees if somebody showed me the time that I spent in practice mode in this game.
Yeah. Well,
I'd be like, what the
I knew
fuck is
that,
wrong with me?
I know you Gears players. You're all rap rats. Otherwise, you wouldn't use the character, right? It's in your nature, so you
Yeah,
wanna
like you have to. It's perfection or don't play the character.
exactly. So we want to generally thank you for coming on and spending about 2 hours with us, and we would love to have you on. Especially when the next game comes out. I could have talked to you about Gears matchups honestly for 3 hours, but um,
Both.
yeah, we want to thank you for coming on, and we hope to see you in another episode, another game, and whatever the
Of
case might
course.
be. Yeah. So with that said, thank you, Demoralize. Thank you to my co-host Burrito Voorhees, aka King Jr., aka Franco. On behalf of the Nexus podcast, I'm to Dave, King Jr., and Demoralize. We're signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.
GG's, fellas.